Hey guys, so we are back. We are back with a story time. I can't believe I'm saying it. I really can't believe that those words just came out of my mouth. We are back with a frickin' story time. There are some story times that I just haven't told or have been scared to tell or like am nervous because of the people involved and what if they see it and blah, blah, blah. Well, I feel like 2021 is here, right? We're in 2021 now. I just can't care anymore. I have to give you guys story times. It is what I was destined to do, so here we are. If you've read the title, yes, I'm gonna be telling the story of how I was almost arrested, taken by the police.
The whole nine.
And this is a story from college, of course, and we're gonna get into it. That's really what it comes down to. I decided to sit on my couch with my lovely bar cart in the back, throw on a huge oversized sweatshirt, and tell this beautiful story. There are two other people involved in this story. I'm not really gonna talk much about them. One is still my really good friend, and one girl I don't talk to at all anymore. So I'm just gonna give them both fake names just because I don't know if I don't really care about the girl that I'm not friends with anymore. But I don't know if my friend wants her name involved. So I'm just gonna give them both fake names. So I had just gotten into my program at school. I had just gotten into UCF. I was finally at this college I wanted to be at. Everything was going fantastic. This girl that I was really good friends with, we'll call her Natalie. Not friends with her anymore. We'll call her Natalie. It was her birthday, and there was this big block party going on at one of the local college bars by UCF. So it was like an Oktoberfest block party style thing. We decide to go. I think we're 19 years old. Yeah, I think we're like 19 at this time. She may have been turning 20. So we're 19 years old. We're going to this bar that is 18 and up. The bar is 18 and up, might I add. So legally, could we be there? 1000%. And before I even get started in the full story, yes, it does have there's like a moral of the story here. Like there's a lesson. I am going to be explaining the lesson to everyone that's young, as I'm now a little bit older, but we'll get into that. So we go to this block party for her birthday. We get there, and I'll call my other friend Marissa. I don't know. So I'm with Natalie and Marissa. We're going for Natalie's birthday. Keep up with the pace, people. This is a long story. We get there, and of course, as any, 19-year-old in college, I don't condone or suggest this, but I had a fake ID. So we go, everything is amazing. Everyone there is like 18, 19 years old. It is a bar that every single college kid goes to. Honestly, probably under 18 go there as well. It was just a place that was known for that kind of stuff. And I guarantee some of you guys will comment what bar it is, because in past videos I've spoken about this bar and everyone always comments and they get it right, which is so funny to me. So if you go to UCF, you probably know the bar that I'm talking about that has an Oktoberfest block party. We get in and it is so crowded. It is packed. We cannot get to the bar. We cannot get anywhere near anyone, and none of our friends are there. Like, we didn't know anyone there. So we were kind of bored, and we were like, this isn't fun, because we didn't know anyone there. We couldn't get to the bar to even get a drink. So we decided to walk over to Buffalo Wild Wings, which was like right next door. So we're like, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll come back and see if it gets any better. If not, then we'll just go home. We go eat some wings. We come back to the block party and it's still just like a disaster. We walked around for a bit. We saw if we looked to see if we knew anyone, and then we decided to call an Uber to go home. That was literally the extent of the whole night. So we go, and like I said, it was a block party, so it was outside. We go and we sit on like the curb to call an Uber. And I remember my friend Marissa was playing Temple Run. This was a while ago, so this was still a thing. She was playing Temple Run on her phone. Natalie was calling the Uber, and I remember I was taking Snapchats because like there was a group of boys in front of, like standing in front of me, and they were all wearing Sperry's. And so like as a joke, I like took a video of like all their feet being like, what are those? That is what we were doing. We were waiting for the Uber. Natalie called the Uber, and we stood up to go to the Uber. As we stand up, I feel a hand on my shoulder, and it is the police. Yes, you heard me correct. It is the police. I turn around and I'm like, yeah. And then another officer has my two friends. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, I need to see your ID. And I kind of just like froze because I didn't understand what was happening. And I was like, huh? And he was like, I need to see your ID. I need your license. And I was like, I don't have it. Because I did not have my ID. Technically, I didn't have my ID. First mistake I made. First mistake. We'll get into that. So I'm like, I don't have it. I literally don't have it. And he's like, I need your ID. And I was like, I don't have it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I literally don't have it. So he's like, all right, fine, we'll take you to the car. Takes me and my friends out of the party, like escorts us out to the cop car. We're standing at the cop car. My friend is bawling her eyes out. I'm freaking out thinking, oh my God, what is happening? Like, what is happening? We didn't do anything wrong. Like, we were literally just sitting there. So we're like all standing there and he's like, I need your ID. And still, I'm like, I don't have it. I was like, I don't have it. I don't know like what you want me to do. And he's like, all right, then you're gonna need to empty your pockets. So you either empty your pockets or I'm gonna empty them for you. And obviously in that moment I was like, oh, I'm screwed. I am screwed. So I empty my pockets. And of course, as I empty my pockets, there's my fake ID. There she is in all of her glory. In all of her glory, there she is. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm done. I'm gonna go to jail. Like, I am screwed. He takes my ID, my fake ID, and is like,
you know this is a fake, right?
And at that point I knew I had to just shut my mouth because anything I said would not have helped. So I just stayed quiet and he was like,
you know this is a felony, right?
And again, I stayed quiet because what am I supposed to say? Yes, I know. And I was just like, and he was like, oh, okay, yeah. You want to plead the fifth? Totally fine. Like, I'll just go run your information in the car. And I'm like, now I'm sick to my stomach. My friend is still bawling her eyes out. And the cop goes to the car and the other cop is talking to us. And we basically start asking like, hey, what did we even get pulled for? Like, we're just curious of like what we did wrong. We're literally sober and we were asking them to breathalyze us. The cop is like, well, there was beer all around you. And I was like, sir, we were sitting on a curb at a block party. There was beer all over the floor, but none of it was ours. Like, if you could please just breathalyze us, you would see that we didn't have any alcohol. Like, we're literally sober. And he was just like, no, we're not gonna breathalyze you. And then we were like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you're not gonna breathalyze us? Like, that would have solved all of our issues, but they would not breathalyze us. So we were just standing there in a pure panic, like, what are we, like, what's gonna happen? So the cop comes back from the car and he was nice enough to be like, listen, not gonna take you downtown, which I was like, God bless you. Not gonna take you downtown, but I'm reporting it to UCF and they're gonna take it from there. You're basically gonna get charged through UCF. And I was like, charged through UCF? I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I did not even know that was a thing. So we all got charged with, I believe it was an SAR, which is a suspicious activity report, and everything else was dealt through the school. So of course we get a call from like the person at school, the counselor or whatever, and we all had to go in at different times. I believe I was the first one to go in. I don't really know why. But I go in and she's like, all right, I'm gonna read your charges off to you. They were called charges, even though like it was nothing through like the police at this point. It was literally just through UCF. And she's like, I'm gonna read you your charges. And I was like, all right. I figured the only charge I would have is my fake ID. Like, duh, like, yeah, I know. That was my own mistake. That was the one place that I agree that I messed up. She goes to read the charges and it was possession of alcohol. And it said that we were holding beer, where like that never happened, like ever. Said that we were holding beer. That didn't happen. Obviously, yes, the fake ID charge was there. And then there was also intoxicated. There was intoxicated, possession, like holding alcohol, and my fake. And I looked at the lady, I was like, whoa. Like, I did not have any beer in my hands and I wasn't intoxicated. Like, they didn't even breathalyze me. How would they know I was intoxicated? And she was like, well, this is the charges. I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, well, what are my options here? And the only two options were either to fight it, and I literally had to go to like a court, which like the court was through UCF. It wasn't through like the actual like police department. But I had to go to like a court session and like plead my case, or I could just accept the charges and I would have had to write like an essay. I had to write an essay and I had to go to these like alcohol like meetings with a counselor. And so, of course, I didn't know what to do. Like, I was 19 years old. I had no idea what to do. I didn't want to fight it because I was like, technically, I can't fight it. I had a fake ID. Like, I can't fight that. So I decided to accept the charges, even though I didn't do really any of them. So I accept the charges, and I finally have to call my parents because up until this point, I was like, I'm a big girl, I'm gonna handle this myself. Terrible decision. Couldn't handle it by myself. Call my parents, I tell them what happened. They're like, it's okay, like calm down, like you're okay, but like, so now it's my friend's turn to like go into this meeting with this lady, and they deny the charges. They're like, we will go to court, we will do whatever. And my one friend's dad is an attorney. He's literally a lawyer, so he's like, bring it on, game on. They end up getting the body cam footage from the police officers, that took us. They get the body cam footage showing that we didn't have beer in our hands, showing that we asked to be breathalyzed and they wouldn't do it, all that kind of stuff. But UCF didn't care. They were like, nah, well, nothing we can do about it. The officers said that you did these things, so we just have to go by that. And I was like, how is that fair? You literally have proof. Isn't it like innocent until proven guilty? But they were not following that at all. They were just like, well, it's written here that you had this stuff, so sorry. So my friends end up trying to fight it. They go through this whole entire thing. They go to all of these like court things. They still don't get appealed. Like the one girl still had to write essays and stuff. Even with her father that's a lawyer, she still didn't get approved by the appeal process. So then there's me, who actually decides to like go to this like counseling meetings or whatever. I was supposed to go to three counseling meetings. I meet the woman for the first time, very nice woman, and I explain to her what happened, and she's kind of just like, that's crazy. And I'm like, I know, and I don't want to make it seem like I didn't do anything wrong. I know I did something wrong. So she did this whole like a whole like thing on me. What's the right word? Test? Like an analyzing thing on me. And at the end of it, she was like, you don't need to be here. Like, I guess she realized like I obviously don't need to be in like a counseling session. So she was like, you don't need to be here. And I was like, I know I don't. Like, I know that. So she had me come back the second time. I was supposed to go 3. And after the second one, she was like, you're good to go. Like, you're cleared. You're fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with you, of course. And like, I'm so sorry that it's happened to you. I believe the second time I went, we literally just like talked normal. Like, we just talked about like random stuff. Like, I honestly don't even remember, but like we talked about random things. Like, we didn't talk about like what we were supposed to, just because I didn't need to be there. Hi, I know I literally look scary in comparison to what I look like in this video, but I also wanted to add, the second time that I went and like the last meeting that I had with her, I basically explained to her like how crazy things were, and like when I went to like that first meeting and was like told my charges, and I wasn't explained like how things worked, and like the fact that I could appeal things, and like I wasn't explained things properly, and that I felt like I was kind of like gypped in a way. She was like, I am so sorry. And I think there ended up being like some type of action taken against the person that I met with the first time, and like the conduct counselor woman, because I like wasn't explained everything properly. So there was like something that happened with that too. Like I said, I really don't remember. This was so long ago at this point, and like I try to just block it out of my memory. But there was something that happened, and like the lady that I had to go see about like the alcohol counseling was so incredibly sweet and was like, sis, I'm on your side. I'm gonna say something and I'm gonna get this fixed, because that's not fair. It's not fair that they made you do all of this. And I was like, thank you, you're amazing. All right, I'm sorry you had to see me like this. Back to the normal video. And then I had to write this whole paper. I had to write, I think it was like a 4-page paper about like my life. So I did that, of course. And then that was it. Like, everything was done. I like turned it in, and I never had to deal with it again. But it was absolutely terrible. It was a terrible process. What irked me the most was that I didn't do any of the things that I was charged for. So that was like the craziest part. I mean, I did the one thing. And the moral of the story, the reason that I am telling this story, is because if you're in college, if you're young, whatever, of course, do whatever you want in your life. Just be smart is my point, because I wasn't smart. It could have gone a lot worse, and it could have been a lot worse than it was. But I will never forget the feeling of being taken out of the bar by the police officers. It was terrible. I had people texting me being like, hey, I saw you escorted out by the police. Like, are you okay? Like, what happened? Like, what is going on? People saw that. Everyone saw that. Like, it was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Solely because my whole life flashed before my eyes. Like, I'm gonna be arrested. I'm gonna go to jail. And how am I getting out? How am I gonna get out of jail? My parents are literally gonna kill me. Like, that was what was rushing through my brain the whole time. And I am very thankful that the police officers just gave it to UCF and like let them deal with it. But they could have not. They could have been like, sis, you're going with us, get in the car. Because I really did have a fake ID, which, just be smart. Always have your real ID with you. Always have your real ID with you. Of course, again, I do not condone or suggest, would say to get a fake ID. Not a good idea. It is illegal. It is a felony. Just a friendly reminder, it is a felony, so don't do it. But if you do, just be smart. Always have your real ID with you. Always. Because that is where I messed up, ladies and gentlemen. That is exactly where I messed up. So that is pretty much the whole story. I feel like there's a lot of it, like there's a lot that goes into it that I feel like I don't really remember. But all I can say is be careful, don't be like me, be smart. That's pretty much it. Oh, and might I add, I still have zero of a clue why the cops came up to us, but you would think like, oh, it's because they saw the wristband on our hands and like they saw that we went in over 21 when like we did it, like when we weren't 21. I had a long sleeve shirt on. So I had a long sleeve shirt on. You couldn't see my wristband. As we're leaving, because like, obviously we had to leave. They didn't let us like stay at the block party. They're like, oh, by the way, do you have bands? Like, do you have a wristband? So they literally didn't even know that we went in over 21. We could have gone in as 18. It was an 18 and up bar. So as we were leaving, they were like, oh, wait, do you have a band on? Like, by chance, can I cut it off? So I have zero of a clue why they decided to grab us. I have absolutely no idea. I don't know if it was because we were like sitting on the curb and they thought like we were drunk sitting, even though we were just waiting for our Uber because we were bored. Literally bored. I really think that's the whole thing. Moral of the story is 21 and up, drink responsibly, don't be dumb. There truly is nothing more that I love than telling stories. Like, I love story times. Whenever I tell my friends stories, they're always like, you're such a good storyteller. And I just love telling stories. It's like my favorite thing ever. So I'm really gonna try to think really hard. I'm gonna ask some of my friends, like, was there ever a story I told you that you think I should tell on the internet? And I'm just gonna kind of go through. I feel like I've told every single like X story that I have. I think. I'll have to like really think. But I think I told like every single bad thing that's ever happened to me with a relationship, which is a lot. There's a lot of things. But I think I went through everything. But I promise I will really try to think of new story times for you guys because I know how much you guys love them. I see the comments all the time of like, do another story time, do another story time. And I've just really got to sit and think. I'll ask my friends, like I said, any stories that I've ever told them that were like crazy. And I will sit down and film them for you guys because it's 2021. That's it. We're just going crazy with the story times, people. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope it was funny. I hope it was a lesson. I'm trying to be like a mom here. I hope it was a lesson to you youngins to be careful. If you guys ever need anything, just at Nikki Cortland on Instagram. And if you ever need a good laugh, just at Nikki Cortland on TikTok. I just post funny stuff on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much. Valentine's Day is coming up. Well, no, it's like in a month. When I post this, it's in like 2 weeks or so. We all know that I'm incredibly single, so I will be doing a little Valentine's Day for me thing. It's on a Sunday this year, so there'll be a whole video of just the way that I'm pampering myself, the things that I'm buying myself, because we don't need no man, ladies. It's 2021, we don't need no man to like, you know, do something special for ourselves. So if you're excited for that, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss anything. I love you guys. Comment down below what else you guys want to see in this new year. Comment down below if there's like any stories that you could think of that you'd want to hear from me. Trust me, like I probably have a story for absolutely anything you could think of. So let me know if you want a new story time about anything. And I will see you guys super soon with a brand new video. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. And now I'm just gonna go sit on my couch. It's a Saturday night and I'm just sitting here because nothing's open. We're being safe, people. We're staying in, we're staying healthy. And that's about it. I don't know, I'm blabbering on and on. I love you guys so much and I will see you next week with a brand new video.